personally my favorite of the classic ones, and I'm saying classic, which means anywhere from 1939, I think, is when they made Cinderella. 33 for no. It was in the 30s. It was 40s. It would have been 19. No, I think it was 1939 for Snow White, and then 1944 for Cinderella. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because basically, 1939, Cinderella came out right when the war started, and because of the war effort, especially turning up in 42, you start with in 42, we started the war, and no one really had time for animated movies until after that. I believe that a lot of the actual animation staff for Disney actually went to war because they were, drafted and everything else. Being a man in his 50s at the time, Disney didn't, but a lot of his staff, I believe, did. So they came back from the war and they did Cinderella. But I would say that my top 3 for the classic ones would be anything from basically Snow White till mid-90s. So Hunchback of Notre Dame is probably the last one in that era. My top 3 would be Aladdin, and then I don't know. Rescuers Down Under was actually really good. I really like that one. Let's see, Aladdin. I had it in my head just a minute ago. Aladdin and Little Mermaid, which are kind of default answers, and then someone would say Lion King. But for me, my number 3, I think, is Sword in the Stone. Yeah. I like King Arthur. I like medieval fantasy. So seeing Disney's take on Arthurian myth is cool. And also, the movie's pretty great. With Merlin and the first Iago. What's his name? The owl. Who I can't remember the name of now, which is annoying me. But yeah, I loved that movie. So, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, then Sword in the Stone. And I think Sword in the Stone is probably not one of the most popular picks there, because it was in the dark times, where Disney was making a lot of missteps. They made a lot of missteps in the 60s and the 90s, actually. They made a lot of missteps. We remember the 90s for the cool stuff. 89, you've got Little Mermaid. Aladdin in 92. It was actually the first movie that I ever saw because it came out when I was a month old. And my dad didn't get to see it in the theater because I started crying. Because I was a month old, so I was a baby. Anyway. And then you've got your milk toasts like Pocahontas. Pocahontas isn't remembered as anything really great, I don't think. Where Elizabeth Warren, starred as Pocahontas, and Mel Gibson played John Smith. Dry humor. Anyway, I think the missteps that people don't remember are Oliver and Company. I have trouble remembering that that's a movie at this point. Let's see, other Disney missteps. Well, Hunchback of Notre Dame is a definite misstep. It's just not a great film. It's got all kinds of weirdness, and just, it's weird how they're, like, kind of anti-Catholic in it, and they're, you know, the and I'm sure it's in the original story, even though I haven't read the novel by Victor Hugo. But the priest's weird thing for Esmeralda, where he's like, "No, I must purge myself of sin by burning you at the stake." It's like, no, that's not how that works. So yeah, that's just really weird. Then you've got the 60s saw The Rescuers, which I actually like, but the pacing on that movie sucks. The pacing on it is just so terrible. Like, just, wow. Yeah, this part's really hard, because getting past the bats while you're going on timed platforms, it's kind of a doozy. Yeah, this level is quite crazy. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. Platforming nonsense. I think there was one time, I don't know if it's included in the stuff that I have here, I was on the top platform and I missed that jump again, and I just fell all the way down and into a hole. There it is. Boom. And I'm like, I was screaming at the screen. I was so mad. Got a little salty on this one. Got a little salty. So, let's see. I think it was 72 that they put out the Iron Cauldron. And that is, it's not the normal Disney brand. It's very dark. And just, it's not a good film anyway. No, not the Iron Cauldron, the Black Cauldron. That's what it's called. It's called the Black Cauldron. And it's a medieval fantasy thing, you know, kind of up my alley, but just, it's really dark and bad. The 90s had a lot of bad animation in it. All Dogs Go to Heaven is one. Let's see, All Dogs Go to Heaven. I want to say Fern Gully because of the political messaging in it. You know, but I still like Fern Gully. Fern Gully actually still has a good story and has good performances. Wasn't it James Woods who was the oil? Oh, the evil blob of oil here to ruin the rainforest. Literally, it's that, okay? So if you haven't seen Fern Gully, get ready for an Inconvenient Truths helping of political posturing. It's ridiculous. It's basically just environmental propaganda, the film. Like Inconvenient Truth. But the well, let's see. What other ones can I pull out of the hat? I mean, this is, I wouldn't consider it a misstep because I like this one. But Disney put their name to The Great Mouse Detective, which I thought was cool because it was a more original story. You know, and that's one of the reasons that I like The Rescuers as well, because The Rescuers is their own story, if I remember correctly. I don't think it was originally written about or anything. Yeah, now I have a mask. It's mask time. I'm like, wait a minute, don't I have a mask? I can just walk into the fire, I don't care. And I'm like, ah, crap. Anyway, I liked the Rescuers. I liked the Rescuers Down Under. I thought it was cool that they had like this international, like UN of mice, not rats, of mice, which was, you know, kind of funny, just because UN of mice, and they do just about as much good as the UN. But, well, no, they do more good than the UN because they actually save someone. And they don't have places like Saudi Arabia and North Korea and, you know, Cambodia on the Human Rights Commission. And it's like, you know what? Human rights commissions shouldn't be, you shouldn't get a seat at the table deciding what is a human rights violation or not if you have a human rights violation. That seems like dirty pool. But welcome to the UN. It's all dirty here. Anyway, I'm being really political tonight, which is weird. I don't usually worry about it, but you know, hey, I'm feeling political. Stand back. I'm feeling political. Yeah, this is a really weird situation that I wasn't sure how to deal with, honestly. Which is why you see me just standing there like, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I could, but I don't. When do I mean, I could go now. And yeah, that's your only opportunity, and it's a space of like 3 seconds. This one's another one that's a bit of a doozy. And this is where the depth perception was really getting me. Because I was going to the left. I was going deeper into the 3D space. And missing the platform because of it. I don't know. It's not 3 seconds. It's maybe 6 seconds. But that's all. I'm like, where's the platform? And it's like, nope, no platform. No platform for you. Almost. There we go. Oh man, what other stinkers? Animated stinkers. Okay, here's an animated stinker. Does anyone remember Quest for Camelot? Put that in the comments if you remember Quest for Camelot, because wow, that was bad. And I saw it in theaters. That's right. It came out in like 2004, and I saw it in theaters. Again, Arthurian myth, medieval fantasy, right up my alley. Crap. For a long time, I did not want to see anything from DreamWorks because of that movie. I'm like, I remember Quest for Camelot and how terrible that was. There was a long time where people were trying to be Disney and no one could beat them. Anybody remember Anastasia? That was also a thing. Anastasia. With Meg Ryan. And even more nightmare fuel. Meg Ryan singing. Yeah, that did not go well. And then they basically just had, for Rasputin, they basically just had Jafar from Aladdin. And I'm like, I don't want to risk it on the bonus. Yeah, here's where the timing gets crazy. You'll see it in a second when those platforms start showing up. See, look at that. That's why they give me a checkpoint here. It's like, no, but I almost had it. I figured out eventually that basically you have to jump when it's in, and then the platform will go out underneath you, like that. And you gotta keep your pace up, or you'll just fall. But I think, if I remember correctly, this is the home run. This is it. Yeah. This right here is it. Hooray. And I got 3 lives out of that. Awesome. 44 of 90. I was trying to make sure that that jump was absolutely perfect because I didn't want to miss just on that. Yeah, I missed 46 boxes. Koala Kong. Don't think that you're gonna see him in CTR because you're not. I didn't know this guy existed. But he's a bodybuilder who likes to wiggle his butt at you. So what I figured out is you need to make sure that you lead his shot, and then you just spin it back. But don't spin it into the minecarts because the minecarts will actually block it. But yeah, you just lead his shot. Once he throws, you can move. And this gets more complex as time goes on, because of course it does. I'm like, oh god, run! This is after much trial and error and finding little exploits like that where it technically didn't hit you even though it goes through your model. See, now you go all the way to the other end, wait for that to explode, and now. There we go. Oh no. Phase 2 of the... Oh, no way. So yeah, that boss fight's pretty fun. Then we go over to the new island. And we've got heavy machinery. Ba-boom. Failing a bonus round doesn't consume lives. So a whole new tile set reminding me of the lab level. I found out you can actually just walk onto the cold ones. It's the warm ones, the hot ones, the glowing orange ones. That's what you have to look out for. Everything else is okay to touch, which is kind of funny. Because I thought that it was, you know, freeze and heat, so I thought I couldn't touch either. So for a lot of the attempts, this is the last run, obviously. I think I've gotten 2 game overs on this level, because it's real hard if you think you can't touch the blue ones either. I think there's literally things that you can't get if you can't touch the blue ones. And that's when I found out, oh, you can just kill them? You can just... Oh, I was just avoiding them this whole time. I was wondering how I was going to be able to do that. That's good information to know. And watch this, watch this. Oh, and I still got it. I was so happy. Though I was not happy with this here in a second. Try to jump over him and nope, not really gonna happen. No. Oi. Boom. See, that's where I actually discovered it. I'm like, oh, you can just stand on this. Okay. There we go. And those platforms fall, so you gotta be careful. Hooray, I got one. Or two, or whatever. I think it's interesting that they made basically the robot turtles from before. And they made robot versions of their Playtles. It's like, but why would you make turtles? What is the tactical advantage of a robotic turtle? I would really love for you to explain this to me, Neocortex. And he's like, trophy's mine! Don't worry about it. And already I look over and I'm like, oh god, this kind again. And nope, we're not doing this. Don't feel like it right now. So we'll just see, and this is another time that they mess with the 3D, where I'm being very, very careful because the depth is hard for me. You know, I don't know where I can stand safely. Steam vent, nice and easy, pretty regular to figure out, and nothing out of the ordinary here. This is kind of more of general platformer stuff, because there's always a factory with robot something, right? There's always a factory. This is a cool thing that I found. Oh, okay. And they have a little thing where you're climbing the springs basically later, which is pretty awesome. You're climbing a shaft basically, you know, like an elevator shaft or a chimney shaft. See, that would be impossible to get if you couldn't stand on the blue ones. Actually, that jump would be impossible to make if you couldn't stand on the blue one. Run, 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 run! And down we go. Hooray! Smashing all of the boxes since 1982. I think it's funny that that one fell without me really touching it. It's like, fine, you're gonna jump over? Well, I'll just fall anyway. You can't stop me. So, an interesting one that I'm not sure why they're doing it. Aw, crap. Is because of Stranger Things Season 3. Since it has New Coke in it, because it's 1980, whatever. They're going to actually sell New Coke. For a bit, at least. Which I'm kind of interested to try, because New Coke came out before I was able to drink Coke. Because I was either a small child or not born yet. And also in Germany, so they probably didn't have New Coke there. So, you know, I never got to try it. I know it was a marketing failure, but, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm not curious. I watch bad movies all the time. Movies that are terrible, like The Predator, or in a lot of ways Venom, which is upsetting because Venom should have been awesome, but instead it was lame. Why was it lame? Probably because of the PG-13 rating. That made it pretty lame. There were some cool effects shots, definitely. I can't say that. But there's this one bit, yeah, see the life there? I'm like, oh, I'll go back down and get the life then. There's this one part right at the beginning where they show a montage of Eddie Brock doing his not editorial work, his journalistic work, being an investigative reporter. And they play this song that's totally tone deaf. It's just not what the scene feels like at all. And I'm listening to it going, what in the world am I hearing right now? Right? And it's just, it was so bad. And then I watched The Predator a couple days before that. And wow. I'm glad I did not see that in theaters, because it is a pile of crap. I think I got it for $13 at Walmart, because I got a Blu-ray. So, I mean, that's fine. But I think the part where it really jumped the shark for me was when they had the deflector shield. When they had the deflector shield was really the part where I was not into it. And look, it's a trophy. I see London, I see France, I see Crash's Underpants. I see them, they're right there. He wears them lowrider jeans so he can just have the... Well, I mean, he makes any jeans lowrider, he just gets a size up. And then puts a belt around it, but still lets it hang around down by his knees. Because he's cool. Because it's 90-something. 1998, I think. 1998, 2000, and then 2003 for the third one. So this would be 98. So it's like, yeah, I'm 1998. You know about the Puff Daddy and the jeans that drape down and all the things and the Biggie and the other stuff. I'm like, nope, we're gonna go the other way. Look, it's Pinstripe. We'll be fighting him later, don't worry about it. I found out that he's a boss, basically because I'm doing this in the future. I know way more than I used to know when I was playing this game for the video that we're showing you. No, far more. You are not the only one cursed with knowledge. And he's like, what? And everyone attached meaning to it, and it ended up having no meaning. Because that's a good way to run things. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I loved Endgame. Endgame was so good. Like, the last half hour of Endgame, I saw things on the screen I never thought I'd ever see ever. And it was the coolest thing ever. That last battle was amazing. Effects, and music, fan service, and it was just everything that I wanted. Because it put Cap at the front, and Cap said, I will take all of you myself. and it was awesome. He went toe to toe with Thanos and was doing actually pretty well. He lifted Mjolnir because he's worthy. He always has been worthy, but there was that one time where he might have not been worthy, but might have been worthy because he moved it. So either he didn't want to lift it, or it was the secret that he was holding for Bucky, which doesn't make any sense because he didn't know Bucky at that point. But that was the theory I saw online. Well, he knew about Bucky and he knew about the... It's like, no, he didn't. When was Age of Ultron? He didn't find out about that thing. He didn't find out about how Winter Soldier killed Howard Stark and his wife, whose name escapes me, who's basically just Walt Disney now. Not Howard Stark's wife, but yeah. Anyway, they made Howard Stark basically just Walt Disney, and that made Tony Stark Walt Disney's son, which is kind of funny because he's kind of what they tacked the entire MCU up to this point on. They tacked it on to Iron Man. So making his dad Walt Disney, because he literally had the miniature cities and was talking about innovation and all that, just like Walt Disney used to. And he had this utopian idea of the future and all that. And I'm not. Don't get me wrong, utopia is fine, but it's how we get there that I contend with. What does utopia mean to the person who's trying to tell me that utopia is coming? And what are we going to have to do to get there? Because there are a few people who say, well, we'll have utopia. All we have to do is we have to kill this certain segment of the population, and then we'll have utopia. Right? We just have to do this, and this, and do horrible crimes, but we'll have utopia, you see. And that makes it all better. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. That don't fix it, hon. But, I think the whole idea of utopia, and I'm talking about the classical sense of utopia, where utopia is, we have these wonderful technologies and no one has any hardship or anything ever. I honestly think that not only is that a boring idea, but I think it's an idea that's completely unattainable, illogical, and personally I think would break the human race, Because think about it. And I have stressors in my life too. I'm going to be working late tomorrow because there's, I'm going to be working late and I get there I'll be getting there in 6 hours and 45 minutes, right? So, I have stressors. I had a stressful day today. I felt like I needed antacids because of all the acid in my stomach. It was not a great day. But think about if you never had any hardship, if you never had any trouble, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. Because you wouldn't have overcome all the adversity. And yes, you overcame all that adversity, but you missed, 27 boxes. Wow, that's a tie-in. Hey guys, I'm Alex. guy from the videos. So, I just wanted to thank you for watching the video all the way through. You know, it's a lot of work. I appreciate it. So, you know, thank you for your view, maybe your subscription. So you can subscribe right in the bottom corner there. Then you'll be updated. Make sure to ring that notification bell, because, you know, subscriptions seem to mean nothing on YouTube anymore. But hey, so then over here, you'll see a video that you might like, since you watched this video all the way through. Other than that, have a great day. I hope that you watch more. I'd love to see you again. We do stream, so keep an eye out for that. Announcements will be on the channel, my Twitter, all that stuff. All the information is on the overlay. Other than that, enjoy your stay on 6th Street.